Welcome back to another episode of Traveling Across America podcast, the podcast where we talk about our trips to all 50 states in America. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you follow all social media pages so you don't miss out on any updates. On this episode, we're going to be talking about our trip to South Carolina, and it is going to be a solo podcast just because this episode specifically, I went on places by myself, solo, and I think in the future, some states that I go to is just going to be me because this is my goal, this is my dream, and not everybody is gonna be able to go with me all the time. So we're gonna be doing a solo podcast for today. And if you haven't already, watch South Carolina episode, which is out now, so you could understand each segment as we go along. The first part we're gonna be talking about is going to Charleston. So this, all right. So actually, let me go backwards. All right. So South Carolina, my overall thoughts after going there. I'm be honest, I don't know. South Carolina, for me, South Carolina, I think it was one of those states where I kind of just had to go because it's one of the states. It's not really something that I would be like, hey, let's go to South Carolina, you know? The only reason I would only go to South Carolina is because we have family. We have a lot of family from my mom's side. But other than that, visiting South Carolina on my own, I don't think I would go. I don't know. I just didn't find it that entertaining, or I just didn't feel the vibe, and I don't think it's somewhere where I would move. But overall, it was still good. So people from South Carolina, don't get mad at me. Okay. But with that being said, the first part of the segment was landing from the airport. I actually went right after work. It was a Friday night. And we went me and my brother went right after I got out of work. He had to go out of work, and we left to South Carolina. Our uncle picked us up, and we stayed at his house, which is, it was great. I'm be honest, this episode, I think I saved a lot of money for traveling. So shout out my uncle. But yeah, we stayed at his house for the night, and the next morning, the first part that we did was the Boone Hall Garden. Yo, so when I was researching things to do in South Carolina, this is one of the things that I saw. And I really liked, what caught my attention was the trees, going in the beginning. It was like these trees are kind of I don't know, it's like a pathway, and the trees are just making a path, So I really wanted to go there just for that, to be honest, the pictures and everything. It was cool. And when we were there, we actually found a mansion, and I was just like, yo, what? That's crazy. I kind of want to go there. And I started doing more research, and it was actually where one of the scenes for The Notebook was filmed. I don't know if you guys know The Notebook, but The Notebook personally is one of my favorite movies. And when I saw one of the scenes there, I was like, oh yeah, I remember. So one of the scenes for The Notebook was recorded there. And going inside, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't nothing crazy, just looking at artifacts and everything. But yeah, that's basically it. I was telling my brother how being a tour guide, I feel like I cannot do that. They're just talking and doing the same thing repeatedly. And I don't know. I was just telling him, I think that's why I need a tour guide in every state to show me around, because I don't know if that would be a job I'd like to do. But that was the Boone Garden, the Boone Hall Garden. It was pretty good. I think I give it a 7 out of 10, just cause I don't know. It was all right. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. And the next part of the trip was going to Fort Sumter. So this is where family kind of goes in. There was a family event that weekend, and that's one of the main reasons we went. And, I was like, why not kill two birds with one stone, visit a state and visit family? And so in between, we went to a family event. It was a wedding. And we went. And I knew I did go for a little bit, but I also had to go to Fort Sumter, because when you go to Fort Sumter, there's different times. I think it was 9, 12, and 4. And you have to pick the times because they close. It's taking so you take a ferry. And they have 3 times. I believe it was 9, 12, and 4. So you can only go at those times. By the time we got back from the Boone Hall Garden, I think it was already 12, or at least late. It was late in the day, and I went to the wedding, the family wedding. So the only chance for me to go there was at 4. and I was like, I have to go, you know, like they're like, you know, I had to go. I was just like, there's no way I'm not gonna go. And my brother had planned it, but the thing is, we're at the wedding, so it was kind of like if both of us left, that kind of would look bad. So I was just like, you know what, you're right. You guys, you can stay. I'm just gonna. I did go to the wedding. I said hi to everybody, and then I was just like, oh, like good seeing everybody. I have to go. So I went to Fort Sumter. And when I got there, you make a line, and then people are just getting into the ferry. And I think the ride over there was about 30 minutes. When we got there, they were just telling us instructions, talking about like rules and regulations, and how there's no bathroom there. When I heard that, I was like, what? What do you mean no bathroom? Yo, what if somebody's working there? They gotta use a bathroom. It's like, yo, there's no bathroom. So I know that's not a big rule, but I don't know. I just thought about that. Like, I wouldn't want to. What? How can you work with no bathroom? Um, so what? So that was one of the rules and regulations, I guess, that they had said. Um, we got off the ferry, and I started walking towards Fort Sumter. And just a little background history. So Fort Sumter is like a island, and that's where it was the beginning of the Civil War. And they have like a bunch of like artifacts like cannons. They have history, like a little museum in there. And also, since I went the last tour of the day, they were bringing down the United States flag, which was kind of cool to see. You know, they even asked the people like, hey, do you guys want to help us? Because I guess usually the workers do it, but yeah, people helped. And yeah, that was really nice to see. But overall thoughts on Fort Sumter, I think it was really nice to see. I guess kind of like history. It was very similar to Saint Augustine when I went. You know, El Castillo de San Marcos. This is also like one of those historic like art places in the United States where I went to St. Augustine. Now Fort Sumter is also another part of history. So it was very similar to St. Augustine. But as soon as the tour ended, just out and went back to the ferry. And actually, whoa, this was like a crazy part. So when I got back from the trip to Fort Sumter, I went to downtown Charleston because Fort Sumter, like, all right, so downtown Charleston is like right there where you have to take the ferry to go to Fort Sumter. So once I came back from Fort Sumter, I was in downtown Charleston, and I started walking around, and my family were still at the event, and I guess the event had finished, and now me and my cousins were just then my cousins had came to downtown Charleston because they were showing my other siblings around. And I was just walking randomly, and a car comes out of nowhere. It's like, Titi. And I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing? They found me. Well, I was like, yo, what? I was calling them. They're like, where you at? And they were saying how, oh, we're going to downtown Charleston. And I said, okay, I'm gonna meet with you guys. I'm already here. And I was just walking, and they found me. So once I met up with my family, that's when we started walking around downtown Charleston. It's just like a normal downtown, you know, where you got food, shops, and everything. One thing though, it was very hot. Oh, that's one thing. In South Carolina, when I went, it was very hot. I don't know. I had rankings because I went to so South Carolina, Texas, and Florida. Out of those three, I believe I said my rankings was South Carolina being number one, second was Texas, and then third was Florida because it was hot when I went. But I don't know. Florida kind of is recently been hot too, so I don't know. I think it just depends when you go. But yeah, we were just in downtown Charleston, walking around, seeing everything. That's where I interviewed people. Oh, this is where the interviews kicked in. And oh my God, one thing that I'm gonna say right now. So when I went to the solo to the solo trip to Fort Sumter, I was like determined to get an interview, and I kind of had an idea where I'm just gonna go up to people and just say like, hey, can I interview you? And if they have one of their friends that doesn't want to be in it, I was just gonna say, hey, can you record for me if you don't want to be in it? But unfortunately, I don't know, something happened where I just couldn't do it. I just needed somebody to be. be there. I feel like having a camera person is crucial because they kind of like hype me up, and they're also like, I got you, like I'll record, just go up and ask, you know. So that was one thing that I wanted to mention, because I was gonna interview people in Fort Sumter and I didn't, and I beat myself up. But luckily we did get some in downtown Charleston. The people were really nice that I interviewed. They're really cool. They were from what, Georgia, some of them from South Carolina, and then the group of girls they had the college girls, that so diverse group, where they're, what did it say, from Alabama, what else, Mississippi, I might be wrong, I don't know, but I interviewed them. They were really cool, and no, everybody was that I met was really nice. And at the end of going to downtown, there was also these guys playing guitar, which I kind of regretted not interviewing them. My brother was telling me, because now that I think about it, they were doing a TikTok live and they were playing music, and I was just there vibing, like, you know, this is a vibe. And they were actually pretty good at playing. I was just like, yo, what? They were really good at playing. So I regret not interviewing them. But I mean, we were talking to them for a little bit, and they said they play here and there. So that was good that I got to meet someone, you know, they're just playing on the side of the street. Um, After that, I think, to be honest, that's really much it. This episode was really short. The only thing at the end of the day, because when we were at downtown Charleston, it was basically going to sunset to nighttime, and I wanted to, you know, be with my family. I wasn't with them, or I was with them in downtown Charleston, but now we were gonna meet other cousins that we have, and that's when we went to like some arcade game thing. I think it's similar to, what could I compare it to? Here in Lake Worth, we have the Fun Depot, where they have like go-karts, games, like arcade games. Basically an arcade, let's just say that. So just for the final trip, I was just with my family. We're doing arcade games, you know, like air hockey, just like the car where you go, you know, the car games, and also they had a bowling alley. So we were just there relaxing for the end of the day, because this was a 2-day trip. We didn't go for long. It was just Friday night we left, Saturday got there, we were there the whole day, and then Sunday out and about. So it was pretty quick, but Saturday night was when all of us got together. We were just relaxing, we were vibing, and it was really nice to be with family that we haven't seen in a while, because I saw my cousins and I was just like, yo, what happened? What? They're so old. They're so old, because it's been a long time. The last time I went to Charleston, like, for a long time, was, I think, man, hold up, I think when I was like 11, 12, or 10, somewhere around there. And it's so nostalgic. All right, this is, now I'm getting into like a childhood like memory, where when we went the last time with our cousins, we would, like, you know, go outside and play. They had a playground in front of their house. We went to CC's Pizza. So being there after like a long time, it was cool, and I'm glad I got to see my cousins, because they look different, and I think we all matured, where now we just dab up each other and we're like, yo, how you been? You know what I mean? So yeah. But other than that, that's basically it. South Carolina, final thoughts. I wouldn't move there. I would only go there to see family, because family is, you know, family is everything. Go visit family. But as far as moving, yeah, no, I don't think I would move. It's downtown. I know there's more parts of South Carolina. We just went to downtown Charleston, but it is still pretty cool, downtown Charleston. But I guess I have to explore more. You know, if someone can convince me to move there, then I don't know. You gotta really convince me and take me somewhere where is, I guess, entertaining in South Carolina. But with that being said, that wraps up another episode of Trying Across America podcast. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you guys follow. Bro, yo, no way. Did I just mess up the ending? Yeah. All right, guys, like, let's pretend you didn't see that. But with that being said, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you follow all social media pages so you don't miss out on any updates. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.